Well, hello there and welcome. My name's Paul. This is my scene. This is my reaction to A Once Upon a Time, Season 1, Episode 3, Snow Falls. I wonder what that could refer to. Anyway, I need to recap a bit on the second episode because I've watched it again. I went through it in editing and I rewatched the entire episode just because there were a lot of things evidently that I was confused about at the end of the episode. Now, regarding who knows what, who remembers what, I've kind of consolidated my thoughts on Regina. Now, I've come to the conclusion that Regina does not remember. She doesn't know at all. But like any other character, she probably has subconscious desires and things that draw her to certain things, but perhaps doesn't know why, much in the same way that Snow White or Mary seems to be drawn to Emma and vice versa. They seem to have this connection, and so I think Regina has this same type of connection to the other life, but she doesn't know about it. So I think my whole idea, my ludicrous idea that Henry could be, by some weird kind of convoluted way, could be her father from the previous life, some point later in his life, I think we can throw that out the window. I don't think that's the case here. I think because of these subconscious kind of, not memories, but just subconscious desires, the most likely scenario is that when she's adopted a son, she was drawn to the name Henry. So she named him Henry. Although she probably doesn't know why, she just likes the name. Now, so I think that clears her up. Obviously, the way this show seems to be, though, I could be way wrong on everything every time, because I'm not surprised if it surprises me, if that makes any sense. Now, Mr. Gold, on the other hand, he's a different story. Him, I think, does have more than just a subconscious draw to certain things. I'm pretty convinced that he does remember, if not the whole other life. He certainly seems to remember elements of it, or details, mainly because of what he said at the very end, when Regina says, I'm not making deals with you anymore. He says, to which deal are you referring? Which would indicate he's talking about the deal that she made with him as Rumpelstiltskin, which he's not supposed to remember. And then to illustrate very much that he seems to be well aware of this deal, he said, he asked her to, what was it, to get out of the way or something. Leave him alone, just let me move on out the way. And then he paused a bit and very, very deliberately said, please. At which point she caved. So he was very, very aware that she would do anything he wanted as long as he said, please. Now that can't be a subconscious thing. He has to have more complete memories in order to even do that, I think. Anyway, like the Regina thing, it might be very, very wrong because this is once upon a time. Anything could be right, could be wrong, could be nearly right, nearly wrong, I don't know. One of these days I'll find out, maybe in 2025 or something. I had more about Regina as well, I think. Besides her not remembering, I think now. I actually saw her in a different light when I rewatched episode 2. She seems troubled, or the queen, the evil queen, was troubled. Snow White's done something to her, and it's driven her to essentially commit suicide and take the whole community with her. So to drive you to such desperation, I mean, she must be very, very, very affected by whatever it was that happened to her. So try to find the words. So I'm actually seeing her in a more sympathetic light, in the sense of somebody who isn't necessarily a horrible, evil person, but somebody who's had issues, and I now think absolutely, genuinely wants the best for Henry. So, well, time will tell. No doubt I'll find out. Anyway, this one called Snow Falls, I couldn't even begin to imagine what this is about. Snow White takes a tumble. Maybe Snow White falls from grace. Maybe we're going to go back to what she did. Maybe not. I'll find out in a couple of seconds then.
What do you think of the view, my dear?
Is that the prince?
I've seen better. This is taking forever. I told you the troll road would have been quicker.
Who's she?
And far
I'll find
less
out.
bumpy. Are you even listening to me?
Yes, of course I am.
Whoa! Whoa! These markings. This tree didn't fall, it's been cut. It's an ambush.
Who's this?
Show your face, you coward. You're a girl.
Woman.
Is that Snow White? What?
You can't hide from me! Wherever you are, I will find you!
I want kids, marriage, true love. I want it all. But that, of course, is...
Very fairy tale. In fairness, I would be looking at that as well.
To discuss on a first date. Ruby. Yes, Mary Margaret.
Ruby, that's her name. Okay.
Is Mr. Doe gonna be okay, Miss Blanchard?
His name's not John Doe, honey. That's just what they call people when they don't know who they are.
Do you know who he is?
No.
In
Just
another
running
life,
flowers on
yeah.
my rounds.
You sure you don't know him?
Of course I'm sure. Come on.
Oh, Henry does. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking that the guy she was on a date with was the prince, but it's clearly not. Obviously not.
You want me to read to a coma patient?
Henry thinks it will help him remember who he was.
Yeah,
And who does he think he was?
thinking about it, yeah,
Prince
I think it'll work.
And if I'm Snow White, he thinks me and him.
He has a very active imagination, which is the point.
It's not a very correct imagination.
I told him that we will all meet tomorrow for breakfast at Granny's, and you will give a full report.
Well, I suppose I'll get ready for my date. I guess I'll have to do all the talking.
Well, Granny's the ruin that has the bed and breakfast. And Ruby works there, so Ruby... I'm trying to think of fairy tale characters of grannies and young girls. Red Riding Hood's the only one that comes to mind, so maybe that's who she is.
Where they knew, no matter how they were separated, they would always...
Okay. Well, that got a response.
Oh, I was just reading him a story.
Well, perhaps you, dozed off. Perhaps you imagined it.
No, I didn't imagine anything.
No.
Yes, perhaps you heard the machine register something and misunderstood.
No, he actually grabbed her hand.
Something's happened.
So he does believe it.
One of our volunteers said he grabbed her. There was a slight fluctuation in brain activity.
And he was this volunteer.
Mary Margaret Blanchard.
I told you I'd find you. No matter what you do, I will always find you.
Is this the only way you can catch a woman? By entrapping her?
It's coming up a
Only way
lot.
to catch thieving scum.
Aren't you a real Prince Charming?
Yeah.
The name you know.
Don't care. Charming suits you. Now cut me down, Charming. What do you care? Don't you have a palace full of treasures somewhere?
I'm
Those
liking
were
this.
special. Among them was a ring that belonged to my mother, a ring I was about to give.
The nag with the bad attitude, that's what this is about?
She's my fiance.
Good luck with that. You must be getting something impressive to have agreed to that union.
So, who is the other girl, I wonder? Well, he had a response,
He
so...
woke up. What?
Yeah.
I knew it.
I mean, he didn't wake up, but he grabbed my hand.
He's remembering.
What did the doctor say? That I imagined it, but I'm not crazy. I know it happened.
He's missing.
Ah,
You think I had something to do with this?
yeah, I
It
do.
is curious that the mayor is here. I'm here because I'm his emergency contact.
You know him?
I found him. Enjoy my shirt.
Maybe she is evil.
Sheriff,
Uh,
find John
I
Doe.
don't know.
You heard Dr. Will. Time is precious.
She knows where he is. Of course she does. So who is it?
He walked out alone. He's okay.
Really?
4 hours ago. Where does this door lead?
the woods.
So, what did you do to incur that much wrath?
She
Yeah.
blames me for ruining her life.
What did you do?
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, evidently. I wonder where we're going. Whoops. This isn't really a love at first sight story, is it? More like hate at first sight. Opposites attract. Hit one arrow. I hope you're good. Really has to be good. Of course he's good. It's interesting to see the beginning of their relationship.
You alright?
You saved me.
Seemed like the honorable thing to do.
So I'm kind of placing this somewhere between front Snow White parted company with the dwarfs and then the end of the movie.
Snow White. What a reward. Take that.
Oh no. Oh, it's dust. Knew that would, it had to come back at some point. Quicker than I thought.
You saved me.
The score is 1-1.
The honorable thing to do.
What about your special someone?
Well,
I'll think of something else. Oh my god!
ooh.
Oh my god!
I need an ambulance. I don't talk where it's as soon as possible.
I wonder how he ended up walking out as he did. I mean, and how did he get as far as he did? If it wasn't Regina that took him out, as we saw on the camera, how did he get that far? Oh, it does work both ways.
You saved me.
Again.
He did it. He did it. He's welcome.
Yeah, kid.
David, is that you?
Well, that's the
Ma'am, you can't be in here.
one that was in the carriage earlier.
You can't be here, ma'am. Can you wait over here for a second, okay?
I wonder who she is in the fairy tale land. Is she
His wife.
Cinderella? She was wearing a blue dress, so maybe that's who she is in the other world.
I know, not your style.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Did he use the right hand for
Yeah.
in fairy tale land?
Sure, your fiance will love it.
Like he's changing his mind.
You'll find me.
Yeah, he will.
Always.
I almost believe that.
Yeah.
Well, goodbye, Snow White.
Goodbye, Prince Charming.
I told you, it's James.
Nah. Still like Charming better.
Charming. Be curious to find out, or when I find out, if the other guy's called James. I missed it if the girl that ran in the hospital, if she said his name. Can't remember.
His name is David Nolan.
David.
And that's his wife,
Okay.
Catherine.
A few years ago, David and I were not getting along. It was my fault, I know that
Okay.
now.
So they're separated.
I was difficult and unsupportive. I told him if he didn't like things, he could leave, and he did.
Still
I
a
couldn't
chance
stop
for
him.
you, Snow.
It's
Mary.
the worst mistake I ever made.
Yeah.
Now I get a second chance.
Don't believe them. You're the one he was looking for.
Yeah.
He was going to the troll bridge. It's like the end of the story.
Henry, he was going there because it's the last thing I read to him.
No, it's because you belong together.
There's an element in which they could both be right, actually. But Henry's right.
I think it's rather strange you've been his emergency contact all these years. And you only found her now. Well,
Yeah.
this town is bigger than you know. It's entirely possible to get lost here.
Maybe Miss Nolan
It's
wasn't
entirely
informed
possible
at
for
all
bad things to happen.
about anything.
Just when it's convenient, you manage to solve the mystery. True love won out.
I don't think so.
So bask in the moment, dear. Were it not for you two, they would have lived their lives completely alone.
Well, still think, like I said earlier, they drifted apart for a reason. And there's the same kind of subconscious connection between Mary and David as what we have between Mary and Emma. It's interesting.
Emma.
Sorry to bother you so late. Is that spare room still available?
Yeah. Should have taken it in the first place. Even a couch. Anything's better than sleeping in a car. Okay. So that was Snow Falls. No, well, I didn't really expect this, the way it went. I liked that because we got more into the backstory of Snow White and Prince Charming way back. So essentially the first meeting. It was like hate at first sight, but then he saves her, she saves him. And it was good to see the development from the very beginning. I'm still ultra curious about what she did to the Queen. And then the whole thing with the reading the story and it causes him to come out of his coma. You know, I know you get cases where sometimes a familiar voice or a familiar song or a familiar something causes people to rouse. So it's very plausible that that could happen. And obviously, in a fairy tale situation, it would be even more plausible. And it was very interesting to see the connection. Again, subconscious connection that they have. That Mary and the guy have. David. Regina on this episode could have not confused me further, but made me kind of doubt what I said at the beginning. I said at the very start, before the episode began, that I don't think she's actually evil per se, but then she did a few things in this that kind of fly in the face of what I said in the first place. So maybe I should reserve judgment on her, but I still definitely think that she doesn't remember anything. She's just more of a, how can I put it? I wouldn't say she's evil now, but she's maybe more domineering and conniving to get the outcome that she wants. Maybe yay, maybe nay. I don't know. I'll find out more. But it was nice to get the backstory, the Snow White backstory, and I didn't know. They never mentioned it in the Disney movie that Snow White was a thief in her other life within the same life. Interesting. Second identity. They kept that one quiet maybe because they wouldn't get as many films viewed. Anyway, I think I'll leave it here. Now, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do. Dislike if you want. Thank you for watching. Thanks for joining me. And I'll see you next time.